Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Support American-made, tariff-free clothing with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
E-commerce business owners know a successful business keeps customers happy. That's why smart retailers use ShipStation. Turn shoppers into loyal customers with cheaper, faster, and better shipping. Manage all your orders and returns in one place and save up to 90% on rates from all the global carriers. Go to shipstation.com/program to sign up for your free trial. No credit card required, and you can cancel anytime. That's shipstation.com/program.
She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold, she is you, she is you, she is you, she is you. She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold, she is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DeCarlo, and you know we are here week after week, show after show, breaking those myths that mompreneurs and businesswomen, especially those of us building our businesses from home, that we're just dabbling in between bake sales and getting our nails done. We're not. We are smart, we are savvy, and we are sharing the wisdom of women in business and in life. And I'm looking forward to bringing today's guest into our show. Mallory Thomas is a writer and reader of soft love stories that make you swoon, squeal, and blush. When she's not writing, she can be found picking up after her 2 kids, joking with her handsome husband, and planning trips to the beach. She's also a baby formula expert and content creator. She strives to write books that are better than your phone. She hopes the time spent reading her books will leave you happier and more hopeful than time spent on social media. I like that ambition.
Thank you.
We are spending way too much time on social media. So with all that being said, Mallory, welcome to Word of Mom Radio.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm thrilled to have you here, and I would love for you to take us on your journey. And I can't wait to find out what a baby formula educator does. So really, tell us your story, Mallory.
Absolutely. Well, I got started in the baby formula space during COVID about 5 years ago and really grew a large platform on Instagram around baby formula and baby formula support. I work for a baby formula company, and this was all well and good until last May. I guess this was May 2023. My kindergartner at the time came home from school with a fill-in-the-blank Mother's Day gift. You know, the ones that are like, my mom's favorite food is spaghetti. My mom is 87 years old. You know, those. And it said, my mom is really good at looking at her phone. And it just crushed me. And I was like, okay, number one, I have a problem here. But I made my living on my phone, as many of us do. And I was like, I need to make a change, right? I need to figure out a way that my kids can see me create content and not just consume it. And so that was when I really made the shift from, I still do my baby formula stuff on Instagram. I actually have a baby formula book coming out next year, but I started writing fiction again because I wanted my kids to see that I was more than just mom on the phone all the time. And so I ended up writing my book somewhere along the line, sort of born out of that desire for my kids to see me do something else other than be on my phone. And now it's just been such a fun experience watching the process and going through the process with my daughter. And she's now my biggest fan.
Well, that's the best. When you have your kids become your biggest fan, that's when you know things are going well. I have to tell you, somewhere along the line, I got a chance to read it before today's show. Really a good story.
Thank you.
Really got me when Piper went to the father's house. Yeah, I was a puddle.
I know. Yes, I didn't set out to write a story that was so poignant. I set out to just write a funny little rom-com and it evolved into something with a lot of heart, which
A
I
tremendous amount of
appreciate.
heart.
Yeah.
It really, really wound up a tremendous amount of heart and stuff that really resonated. Somebody who I've now lost both parents. My mom a long time ago, but my daddy during COVID. And it's a very strange feeling because you think of orphans as little kids. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget waking up the day after my daddy died, and I went, I'm an orphan.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
you
a
just have to
weird,
keep living.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
weird feeling. And my guy just lost his dad in May. So we were
Oh, that's
in
so
Florida
hard.
with his mom, and it's her first time down in their place in Florida, all by herself. They were married 60 something years.
Oh, that's such a challenge.
Yeah, and I don't think people realize that. The big shift when you lose a life part, you lose your spouse. When you lose a spouse that you have spent your entire life with,
Yeah.
most 99% of your memories are with you. So
Yeah.
that was really very touching, really resonated with me. So I'm going to switch back now because
Yeah.
I got to know what a baby formula educator does.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a COVID baby. He's 5 now. And I, like many moms, had assumed that I would breastfeed. I took all the classes, I read the books, whatever. And then now what I now know is also a pretty common experience. It did not work as seamlessly as I thought it was going to. And so I was like, if I'm not going to breastfeed because this is not working for me, it's not working for him, it's not working for us, then I'm going to learn all of the things. I'm going to be the best formula feeder there is. And so I started looking for resources and there just weren't a lot. There weren't a lot of resources about formula other than sort of thinly veiled breastfeeding pages that said basically don't do it. Even your formula can says breast is best on the back. And so I did a whole bunch of research myself and I got certified as an infant feeding technician. And I became sort of the de facto formula mom in my group of friends, where I would start getting texts from people that are like, you don't know me, but Emily said you know about formula. What do you think about, this one? Or my baby's gassy, what should I do? And I realized that people beyond me wanted to talk about formula and had questions about formula. And so I started an Instagram platform. It's called The Formula Mom. And it has grown and grown and grown. And I got hired by a formula company. And so now I lead education for them, as well as still doing my Instagram work. And it's been a wild journey. It's been a fun journey.
It's amazing how people guilt you at times. Now, I was a nursing mom, and I was one of those people. Like my having babies, my Lamaze coach was like, we should be filming you for Lamaze classes. You're the kind of mom we want to film. And,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know if the baby will nurse, and just boom, right on. Absolutely nothing. But when I decided, because I would pump, but I was like, you know what? There's going to be times that I am not going to be here. Something's going to happen. We won't have milk. I went on a formula study because I never gave my kids anything I didn't taste first. So I wanted to find the formula.
Yeah.
It tasted the most like me.
I think that makes sense. Yeah.
And did find one. It was powder. I like the powder better than the cans. But
Yeah.
I will never forget them calling from La Leche. Because my first son at 6 months old was walking around holding onto furniture. And he was
That's wild.
the earliest you could do anything. That was this kid. And he didn't want to nurse. It was too constricting for him.
Yeah, he wanted to be free.
I'm pumping and putting them, and I'm like, and they actually said to me, well, you know what? Just starve him. Don't give him anything, and he'll come back to the breast. I said, do me a favor. Don't ever flip and call my house again.
That's wild.
I said, how dare you say that to somebody? I'm a first-time mom. Now, I had coached in the delivery room 4 times before I had my own. I've been with kids my whole life. So I was not intimidated. But other mothers would have not fed their baby anything to force them back to the breast. No.
Yeah.
You know what? Is breast best? For let me break this to you, mommies. For the first 2 weeks, as long as they get that colostrum, you've given them everything you really can. The rest of it is free milk. So you know what? Even though you struggled, you got that beginning part in. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
That's real. But they don't tell you this. They make you feel like there's something. And you know what? There's nothing wrong, mommies. You do what is best for you and baby. And some women don't ever want to breastfeed. And you don't have to. That's why formula companies are doing everything they can to make them as healthy and to give kids as much of a good start as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it is wild because, you're not alone in hearing just absolutely unhinged advice from folks who want to keep moms breastfeeding. And if that's the mom's goal, absolutely, then, work with somebody who can help you. But the amount of stuff I hear that people have told moms is truly unhinged, some of it. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And we also know too that the best thing for a baby is a mom that is emotionally engaged, that isn't depressed, that isn't dissociated. And so if breastfeeding is making you unable to have a good bond with your baby because it's so stressful or it's so taxing that you can't engage with your baby, I got to a point where it was like my baby would cry and I would just be like filled with anxiety, right? Because I was like, oh no, he needs to eat again. And so it was like we switched to formula and then I was able to bond. And that's what they always say, right? Like if you breastfeed your baby, you'll bond. I did not start bonding with that baby until I stopped breastfeeding because then I could just enjoy him. So yeah, it's a wild place to exist on the internet in the center of that discourse for sure.
It truly is. And again, you know what? Bonding with your baby is holding your baby, is looking in their eyes, them feeling your heartbeat.
Absolutely. Yes.
Just
yeah.
because
Singing
you're
to
not
them.
nursing doesn't mean they can't be against your chest and feeling your flesh and feeling your heart. It's amazing how even in today's world, well, especially now in today's world, where, well, it's like, well, that's your job. My grandson was in intensive care for a week.
Okay.
And so, because of his blood sugar, he was actually fine. But his mom had tremendous complications. And so she was pumping colostrum. And then at that point, I mean, they were pick line feeding him and everything.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It was time for him to try to learn. He couldn't latch. It was just too much. And here's my son. Well, it would be much better if we breastfeed. I was like, oh, really? Then whip one out.
Yeah. I don't know that we need your opinion
part
here.
of this. No, you will not make her feel bad. And I kept telling her, you gave him the most important part.
Absolutely.
You pumped until you were completely dry. And that's all you could do. And you did a great job. And he's a good, healthy kid. He's going to be 7. He's great.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It really is amazing. Even my son, it would be so much better if we did this. Oh, really? Robin Wilson said, unless you've got an umbrella and you're opening it wide, you're just along for the ride, buddy.
Yes.
I'm serious. But again, these are conversations that I love having because we so have to get them out of the closet.
Yeah.
We so have to make moms remember you're doing a great job.
Yes, absolutely.
And how somebody else does it, fabulous. Thanks for the experience. But this is for me.
Yes, absolutely.
And again, and so the work that you are doing as that baby formula educator, really, Mallory, thank you, because it's an important thing that you are doing to give moms confidence to parent as it works for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, if you can develop that muscle when your baby's little with feeding, it serves you well the rest of the time because everybody's opinions continue as they get older, right? About what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong and what you should be. And so, yeah, learning early on how to parent the way that works for you, the way that works for your baby, the way that makes you a fulfilled and happy and engaged parent, like that skill serves you for the rest of your parenthood.
On that note, think of what Mallory just said. We are going to take a quick break, say thank you to our sponsors, and we'll be back here in just a moment on Word of Mom Radio. She is brave, she is bold, she is you, and we want to tell your story. Are you ready to share your journey with us on Word of Mom Radio? Go to wordofmomradio.com and register as a guest. We want to tell your story because when you win, we all win.
In 2017, Unsilenced Voices was formed to help survivors of domestic abuse and gender-based violence worldwide. The organization currently serves Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Ghana, and the USA. In 2022, Unsilenced Voices gifted over $33,000 to survivors in the USA, and in Sierra Leone, there are over 26 young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and domestic abuse and now going through vocational training school in order to better their lives. We need your help. Donations are critical in order for us to continue our work. We also need volunteers to help with research and development. Please visit unsilencedvoices.org for more information.
And we're back here on Word of Mom Radio. We are talking with Mallory Thomas, who is an author and a baby formula educator, a proud mom, and just...
You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Somebody who's making a difference, and I love it. I
Thank
really
you.
do. So I want to shift over to somewhere along the line and ask you, what got you into writing and what are your goals with this book?
Absolutely. So I think like many writers, as a kid, I had written a lot. I wanted to be a writer. I was always jotting down little stories. And then life gets in the way and you think you need to have a real job and, you've got kids and a spouse and responsibilities and it just took a back seat, right? And then having the experience of my daughter calling me out for being on my phone too much made me realize that I needed hobbies again, right? In my free time, I was just finding myself scrolling my phone, and sometimes doing work stuff, that's fine. And sometimes checking the weather, that's fine. But a lot of the time, just, scrolling the time away, right? And so I really decided that I wanted to find my way back to doing something that at the time was just for me, that let me use the creative outlet and let me just create instead of consume. And so, I think everybody who writes a book starts out thinking it's going to be easy enough to write a book. And then once you get into the process, you're like, wow, actually, this is a lot. But I think that sort of naivety was helpful. If I had known what an undertaking it is, I'm not sure I would have done it while working full time with 2 young kids, but I'm glad that I did. And it has just been so meaningful to reconnect with the part of me that's just for me and just creative. And, it's not a responsibility, right? So much of what I do in this season of my life is responsibility for work or the family or whatever else. And so it really started fun. And then I was like, there's probably other moms out there that want to figure out how to pull away from their phone for a minute. And what better way to do that than with a rom-com, right? That gives you, hope and light and some good tingly, warm feelings. And so I wrote the kind of book that I like to read with the hope that there might be some other moms out there that might want to read it and also give their kids the experience of seeing their mom read a book, because that's a win for everybody. So that's sort of how I landed here.
I love that. And I think it is really important. I'm a reader. And my daughter is a voracious reader. She puts me to shame. But with my boys, when they were growing up, I didn't care what they read. I got the magazines they liked and whatnot. And then one year I bought them Kindles for Christmas. And my middle son still has his. Never upgrade. He's like, Mom, this is probably my favorite gift. Because anywhere I go, he bought the screen thing so you can read into, and anywhere he goes, he's got books with him. And it's funny, my daughter's like me. I want the page, but I am one of those hosts that want to read my guest books. So now I've broken down, and it's like, all right, just PDF so I can read it on my phone and have it right there no matter where I am. And she finally, because she's my world traveler, she's like, Mom, I broke down and I did it, because she would be flying with a box of books.
And that's heavy.
Yes, they are. She's like, Mom, if I find something I really love, I buy that book and I ship it home, because I have to have it in book.
I do that too. I read a lot on my Kindle these days.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's like a little prize. It's a little trophy. If I like a book, I'm going to buy it and just have it on the shelf. And then you can loan it to people too.
Thank you very much. I feel that way. So I have to ask, why do you think that romance books as a genre really seem to resonate with moms? Is it because we're missing it, or we're reminding ourselves?
I think about this a lot. I think for me, at least, I can't speak to everybody, but for me, at least, I am compelled by the fact that I know there's going to be a happy ending. I feel like so much in our world right now and in parenthood is just, you never get a nice, clean bow on things, right? You never know where things are going to go. There's a lot of anxiety about how things are going to turn out, or what this is going to look like, or what so-and-so is going to do. And I think with a romance novel, when you got a guaranteed happy ending, you just don't have that stress. You don't know what the journey is going to look like to get there, but you're going to get it. You know that you don't have to stress about what these characters, how they're going to end up, because it's guaranteed. And I think there's just not a lot of guaranteed joy in our world right now. And so for me, I think that's why romance novels resonate. I also do think there's something. I've been married for 14 years almost at this point. You forget, those butterflies from the early days. And I think there is something fun about reliving that as well.
I am going to shift gears because I was looking into some things. I would love to know about the Where Is Your Somewhere project.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, that sort of impetus for writing the book was my daughter calling me out on my screen time. And so I wanted to find a way to engage her with this process. Obviously, it's a romance novel. It's a little spicy. It's going to not be appropriate for her for a long time. And so, at this point, she's 8. So I really wanted to figure out what's a way that I can involve her, that she can feel like she's a part of this. And so what we did is we created this website, whereisyourSomewhere.com. Again, the book is somewhere along the line. So basically, where are you reading this book? And it allows readers to log their location of where they're reading. And there's a QR code in the front of the book, and it brings you to the website. You can put your city and state or your country, and it essentially drops a pin on the little map that shows where people are reading the book. And so it's been such a fun project for me and my daughter. We check it every day or every other day, and we see where it's popped up. And it's also been a great way to connect with readers in different places. So we had, back in December, we had every continent except Antarctica, right? Because who's reading books on Antarctica? So I posted about it on Threads, and someone reached out and they were like, I'm going on a cruise, a Drake Passage cruise, and we're going to stop in Antarctica at the end of January. Can I bring the book? And I was like, yes. And so she brought the book and she read it and she took pictures and she tagged her little pin in Antarctica. And my daughter was so excited because now we've got all 7 continents represented. And it's just been such a fun way, such a special way to engage with her and to engage with readers and to see where this little sort of story of my heart has launched. It's been really fun.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I really do. And what a wonderful way to engage your daughter in that process, to be able to journey on with the readers in different places. That's brilliant. That really is.
It's been fun too, because, sometimes someone will put a pin, and my daughter is like, what's the Philippines? And then we have a whole conversation about that. We pull up a map and we look at pictures. It's almost been sort of it's been a great cultural conversation as well, as we look at these places.
Without a doubt. It really is. I think and this is a great way to start wrapping up this conversation. So as we are closing out, Mallory, what do you want to leave our listeners with, and how may they reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, I feel like I could say a million things, but ultimately what I want to leave your listeners with, the moms of the crew, is that it is worth finding a motherhood that works for you. And that is true both in how you feed your baby, how you live your life, and also how you spend your free time. And you deserve to have rest. And sometimes, for people like me, rest means a good book, means turning my brain off for a while, means setting aside all the noise of the phone. And I want that for your listeners too. And maybe that means reading my book or reading a book. Maybe that means knitting or gardening or something else. But a mom who spends time doing something just for the joy of it, just for the pleasure of it, is going to be a better mom for the kids. So that's what I want for your listeners. In terms of where to find me, I'm at The Formula Mom on Instagram if you're interested in formula content, and I'm at Mallory Thomas _writes if you're interested in the romance content. And yeah, basically on every platform under those two handles.
All of Mallory's links are going to be live on Word of Mom Radio, and I'm really going to encourage you to get the book somewhere along the line. It's a good story. It's a fun read, and it's engaging. It really is. It's kind of, you get wrapped up in these characters.
Thank you. That was the hope.
No, it really, it's a good book. I really enjoyed it, and I love to read. So, and anything that can show your kids that they can read a book rather than spending their time online and playing video games and things like that is a really good thing to me. And really, Where is Your Somewhere project? I think that that's a fabulous way to involve your kids in how things are going. So you know what? Authors, it's a great idea out there.
It's fun and it's easy. It was easy to set up.
Yeah. And again, and how exciting to connect other readers to each other, kind of a thing that, wow, we're all traveling and doing this and doing that. So yes, nice job.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to come chat with you this morning. This has been lovely.
Oh, right back at you. It was a great way to start our recording day. Absolutely. And for all of you tuning in, thank you so much for being here. We're going to close out with our fabulous theme song from Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So till next time, this is Dori DeCarlo saying go out and create a marvelous you. Bye for now.
She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Sure of herself, yeah, she takes care of biz. Powerful and strong, yeah, she knows who she is. Has integrity, woman strong and true. You know her by name, see this woman is you. She is sure, she is sure. She is strong, she is strong. She is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave. She is bold, she is bold. She is you, she is you. She is you, she is you. She is sure, she is sure. She is strong, she is strong. She is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave. She is bold, she is bold. She is you, she is you. She is you, she is you. Adds value and hope, has proved to be brave. See, it's never too late, never time to behave. Reaching for dreams, doesn't matter the age. Believes in herself, unleashed from her cage. She is sure, she is sure. She is strong, she is strong. She is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave. She is bold, she is bold. She is you, she is you. She is you, she is you. She is sure, she is sure. She is strong, she is strong. She is true, she is true. She is brave, she
You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.